Hi, my name is Ray. I live in Florida and I own a home inspection business. I've had psoriasis since I was 5 years old, and then I developed arthritis when I was 19. It was all autoimmune related. It affected me in the way that, those typical situations do with, a lot of joint pain, stiffness, things of that nature. I was on my third biologic and I was looking for a solution to get off of those biologics. So I saw where the autoimmune issues were the most common treated with stem cells. I found a podcast on the Joe Rogan podcast with Mel Gibson talking about stem cell therapy with his father. It piqued my interest when they were having their discussions on how these treatments could possibly help myself. I researched it for quite some time, and with the research that I discovered, there was a lot of testimonials about the people with my condition and how much it helped them and how much it helped their arthritis and their mobility, and how, they were able to not have any joint pain and, play golf again and be active again. And that's what I was seeking, a better quality of life. I was confident when I came to the Stem Cell Institute, I would be getting a good product. It's a US based company doing, treatments in Panama because it's not allowed in the US the same way they do it in Panama. So the other options at the time were countries that are a lot farther away. And we decided on that. Then once I looked up the efficacies and how the Stem Cell Institute is governed by the Ministry of Health and the certifications they need to have for their labs and where it's located, everything is taken care of for you. You really don't have any worries about being in another country and getting to the Stem Cell Institute. Everything is taken care of for you. Within a couple of weeks, I noticed the mobility in my joints, the inflammation was down, redness in my joints was gone. I really started feeling great. I think I was 52 when I got my first treatment, and literally after about a month, I felt like I was 30 years old again. It was just incredible. I'm no longer on biologics and haven't been since my treatments. I decided to come back because I started getting a little bit of the symptoms that came back, and so I decided to get retreated. Plus, we just loved Panama when we went there, and we just loved the culture over there. So you come out of your room. You go down to the lobby, you pick up the elevator for the Stem Cell Institute. You're up there for, about an hour or so, and you get treated. The staff was incredible. The view was incredible. And then you have the whole rest of the day to yourself. So you really become a tourist. My doctors say, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. 3 years after the second treatment, I still feel great. A little bit of stiffness, but not much, very manageable. It was everywhere. It was hands, knees, hips, feet. It was, full body. I used to have to squeeze sponges under hot water to get my hands working in the morning, and that was no longer an issue. I woke up and I was just ready to go. I'm still playing golf 3 times a week. I'm still, inspecting houses and walking on roofs and going through all these houses, and I just love my job, and it has just rejuvenated me. I feel much younger. I feel we're going on walks all the time. I feel great. I decided to share my story because it could possibly help somebody else in the same situation. There are options out there for a better, healthier life, and stem cells are definitely one of those options. If I could summarize my experience at the Stem Cell Institute, I would have to say tremendous.